There it is. Now we just need it to load up. Still. There we go. Fantastic. So, the chat's up, the stream's up, we're all good to go. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 7 of the PlayStation America series here on Race Spec Esports. It's time, as you can see, for the Australian Grand Prix here at Albert Park, a 5.3 kilometre or 3.3 mile racetrack with 16 turns. Opened in 1996, replacing the Adelaide Street circuit as the round, as the Australian round in the Formula One Championship. And since its opening, it has become the traditional season opener in modern Formula One. In saying that, as an Australian, this racetrack isn't particularly great. The only reason why in real life it has any hype behind it is because it's the opening round. The racetrack itself doesn't really lend to any sort of great racing. It's got a unique part in the form of turns 11 and 12, the high-speed left-right section that begins the third sector. It's an incredibly technical part of the circuit, and if you get it wrong, you can get it wrong pretty badly. It's quite a common area to see drivers retire from races, particularly in the virtual world. Other than that, the rest of the racetrack is pretty unnoteworthy. The only overtaking spot you've got, realistically, is turn 3. The rest of the racetrack is pretty much follow the leader sort of stuff. It's just sort of how it works around here, unfortunately. In saying that, as I saw last night with the Pacific tier, you can get some pretty entertaining races around here. So I'm hoping that we get to see one of those entertaining races tonight. But we've now just begun qualifying. Few drivers on out laps, but interestingly enough, as someone just went off there, Snooker is off the racetrack, we get a completely new layout for 2021 with that part there, turns 9 and 10 being removed following the actual road that goes through here, as this is a public road. And some slight adjustments to other corners on the racetrack, most notably here at turn 13, where they are planning to make the corner a little bit sharper and also add some positive camber to widen the racing line. The idea is to allow for more overtaking opportunities there, but that's only a theory. We'll have to see it in practice at the end of the year in real life Formula One. We'll ride on board with SMM out, take you on a guided tour of the racetrack, heading into gear there, then short shifts to 5th, 6th gear, round turn 2, DRS open again, heading towards turn 3, most prominent overtaking spot on the racetrack. Didn't quite nail the apex there, through turn 4, rides the curb a little bit, then into turn 5, we may see a few incidents here. There's a car in front, an Alfa Romeo, trying to fill in driver's blow. I'm sure he'll get out of the way. He's on an out lap. Yep, there we go. Heading into turns 9 and 10, which we won't have in 2021. Ooh, he hit the wall there. Just bumped it. Now into the most treacherous part of the racetrack, turns 11 and 12. 7th gear, throws it through, and that's why it's treacherous. It's so easy to do that, to understeer off onto the grass, but it's also so easy to cut turn 12 and invalidate your lap time. So it's a very, very fine margin of error through there. Around turn 14, then turn 15. The Quito goes off the road there. And Al rounds the final corner. This won't be one of his better laps around here, but regardless, he sets a 1 minute 20.329. He's got a lot of time to find with those mistakes that he made. Captain Schmeg is the second car to set a flying lap with a 20.9. Lakeshade does a 21.3. JCK is coming towards the end of his lap, heading towards turn 13. Doberman does a 23.3. All of these guys as well, they're on the the soft compound tyre. Snooker does a 25.4. Lucid does a 22.5. JCK on the pit straight, heading towards the line, does a 20.4. Jumps to second overall. Kimmy, he is in the second sector. One of the quicker drivers in this tier. Low through turn 11, then turn 12, riding the curve quite nicely there on the exit. You do have to be careful with your throttle inputs through there as well. Sometimes the car can become a bit unsettled, and too much throttle will result in your car spinning out and most likely into a tyre barrier as well. But the Canadian coming around the final two turns here. Around turn 16, full throttle, DRS open, up through the gears, crosses the line and does a 1 minute 21.510. Jumps to 5th overall. See here, Snake and Beans in the wall at turn 5. He smacked the wall there. Quite a common thing to see. Turn 5 is another one of those corners where you have a very fine margin of error. Flavius on a flying lap in the racing point. His teammate is just behind KD. He's on an out lap, heading towards turn 6 and 7. This part on a pad, I've noticed, is quite a difficult section to negotiate. Those quick changes of direction, it's very difficult to do on a PlayStation controller. And following around this curve straight, quote unquote. Now towards turns 11 and 12, 6th gear. Not flying through there, but I think for Flavius, he's just trying to set a benchmark. Around turn 13. Runs a little bit wide on the exit. That'll cost him a few more tenths of a second. But again, I think he's just trying to set a benchmark. Around turn 15. Then round turn 16. 4th gear, 5th gear. Not using the curb on the exit. So it's a 1:22.977. Jumps to 9th overall. His teammate KD now just started a flyer. Right on board with him. DRS open. Heading towards turn 3. In top gear at 315 kilometers an hour. Incredibly fast. Flavius gets out of the way, utilizing this car park area. In real life, that's the car park area. Heading round turn 6, then turn 7, round turn 8, and into the heavy braking zone of turn 9. Have to utilize the curb on the inside, and again with turn 10, utilizing that little bit of curb. Now into turns 11 and 12. 7th gear, throws it in. Does a pretty solid job of that. Not utilizing the curb on the outside though, so he can afford to go a little bit quicker through there. Round 13. Into turn 14, 5th gear, 6th gear. There's a car in front of Red Bull. I believe that's Nick's. On the pit straight with DRS open, KD is going to cross the line to set a 1 minute 20.326. He jumps to pole position, and that is abruptly taken away from him by Sefi with a 1:19.887. A fine lap time. He is head and shoulders above the field, though I'm going to assume he's not going to be there for long. We saw the amount of mistakes this man made on his first lap. If he gets rid of those, I wonder what kind of time he can set. Right on board. We'll inspect how he operates himself around this racetrack. 5th gear through turn 2, 6th gear, DRS open. Keep an eye on the sector times as well. The first one comes after turn 5. Round turn 3. Then turn 4, using third gear to get that extra rotation. Round turn 5. But this is the end of the first sector. What does it say? He's up by 2/10. Round turn 6. Now turn 7. Really using the track limits there at turn 7. He was right on the limit. Now into turn 9. Hard on the brakes. Third gear. Really chucks it in. Short shifts to 4th. Really swirly on the exit. And he made the same mistake he did on his first lap. Really hitting the wall hard this time though. And he's only up by 600ths. Oh, and he invalidates as well at the exit of turn 12. And actually, he got damaged with that serious impact with the wall and missing end plate, so he'll be coming into the pits. But yeah, Alp just really pushing the limits there at turn 10. Car got really unsettled on the curb once he applied throttle, and in his frustration doesn't slow down for the pit entry. Captain Schmeg is going to cross the line. He improves by a colossal 0.4 of a second with a 1 minute 20.551. He doesn't improve position, but he's a bit closer to the top 4 than he was before. And Hildebeest P8. That's a fairly respectable lap time considering he's on a set of mediums. 1 minute 21.490. He'll be pretty pleased with that one, I'm sure. Next, getting off the racetrack. Not necessarily getting out of the way though. The car behind is Hildebeest. Now he does by cutting the grass. Kimi up by 1.2 seconds in the second sector. With that sort of pace, he's going to be setting a high 20. See if he can nail this final sector. Around turn 14 into turn 15. Second gear. Short shifts to third. Short shifts to fourth. Full throttle on the exit. Up through the gears. So 1:20.489. Jumps to 5th place. Only 1/100th of a second separating him and JCK in 4th. Incredibly close at the moment. Low on a flying lap. Currently down in the first sector and a bit squirrely through 6 and 7. Gets past a slow Renault, I believe that's Snake and Beans. Or right up against the wall there. But he's taking quite the unorthodox line. He's actually lost, he should have lost a fair amount of time doing that. You might as well just hug the inside, and he's invalidated there at turn 12. Let's see, who is the first driver of these top guys to set a flying lap? I believe it is KD. Crossing the line, he starts his lap. Current PB 1 minute 20.326. He needs to improve by half a second if he wants a crack at pole. Round turn 3. Third gear through there, unlike Alp who uses second. And again here he uses 4th gear at turn 4 instead of 3rd. Sector 1 says he's up by half a 10th of a second. Round turn 8. Into turn 9. 3rd gear. 4th gear. Doesn't hit the wall anywhere. He's nowhere near the wall on the exit of turn 10. Now into turn 11. He's up by a 10th. 10th and a bit. Goes around turn 12 pretty well there. Car looked very stable. Into turn 13. Hard on the brakes. 4th gear flows it through there quite nicely. Gentleman Seth has retired. He's crashed out at turn 5 as KD makes a mistake at the second last corner. When he was on the brakes and moving over to the right hand side of the racetrack, he dipped his outside wheels onto the grass. Lost him a fair amount of time. Now out. Has he done a good enough lap here? No, he's pulling into the pits. So he's doing a lap right at the end of the session. And it appears it's the same deal with JCK. I think. Just switched it back up into overtake, into hot lap mode just then. And now he is pulling in. Oh! You saw those outside tyres almost dip onto the grass there. If they did, he would have crashed into the tyre barrier pit entry. He would have. There was no doubt in my mind he would have. He's very lucky he managed to pull that up. Lake Show isn't on a flyer. Laquita appears to be. Current PB of a 122.0, currently P12 overall. Heading around turn 4, heading towards turn 5. Full throttle through here, using the curb on the outside. Sector 1, he's up by a 10th. Needs to improve by 3 if he wants to have a go at Nix in P11. Around turn 9, then turn 10. Around we go towards turn 11. Hard on the brakes here, down to 6th gear, but invalidates, cutting too much. Very easy thing to do, quite the common sight. Nix is down in the first sector, but I believe he is on a flying lap. We've got cars slow. Faster traffic through. See what Nix does in the second sector. He's up, and he invalidates. He improved a bit in the second sector. He was still down overall, but it doesn't matter now. He has invalidated. Hildebeest now on some soft compound tyres. Current personal best with a 21.4. 21.4. Round turn 5. Heading towards turn 6 and 7. He's up by 2/10, and there's a car in front. That's JCK. I don't think that cost Hildebeest too much time. It would have been a bit of a hindrance, though. Hard on the brakes for turn 9. 3rd gear. Throws it in. 4th gear. 5th gear. There's a car there. It's Sully. Pulling off to the side to let other traffic through. Around turn 11. He's up by 4/10 of a second. Through turn 12. Nails it. Towards turn 13. On the brakes, 4th gear. 5th gear. 6th gear. Down to 5th for turn 14. Lucid has retired in the pits. As Hildebeest rounds the final corner. DRS open. Up to the line. He sets a 1:20.3. Jumps to P4. 1/1000th of a second behind this man, SWM Alp, who is up by a colossal 3/10 of a second in the first sector. KD, he's making his way towards the end of the second sector split. What does his time say? He's up by just over a 10th and a half as he goes through turns 11 and 12. Appears to be on a pretty solid lap here. What about Alp? What does his sector 2 time say? He's up a little bit more compared to his previous best. Really sliding through there, pushing the limits of the racetrack. KD rounding the final corner now. What can the Racing Point driver do? DRS open, full throttle to the line. It's a 1:19.7. He jumps to pole. Does Alp have anything in response? DRS open. What can he do? A 1:19.2. He obliterates KD's time by half a second. That is massive in the end. And the pressure was on as well after making so many mistakes on his previous flying laps. That's one hell of a statement. JCK, another one of the quick drivers. See what he can do up to the line. It's going to be a 1:19, no, a 20 flat. Goes 4th fastest. Hildebeest on an in-lap Kimmy. What can the new full-time Renault driver do? It's going to be a 1:19.7. He jumps up to 2nd place, pipping KD by 0.03 of a second. So there we go, qualifying over. And with the pressure on, that's a pretty good lap there from Alp. Pull that out of the bag. To be that far clear as well. Look at that. 5.5 tenths of a second. So there we go. Qualifying done and dusted. And we have SWM Alp on pole position with Kimi alongside. KD in P3, Sefi in P4. These guys are fairly close together in terms of pace, aren't they? Then JCK, Captain Schmeg, and Hildebeest, they're fairly close together as well. Then Lakeshow in P8, Blow in P9, and Detail rounds out the top 10. 2.5 seconds separating these guys. Two Red Bulls fairly close together in P10 and 11. Liquito in 12th, Snake and Beans in 13th, Lucid in 14th, Doberman 15th, Flavius in 16th, Sully, Gentleman Seth, and Snooker rounds out the back of the field. Now time for the race itself. It'll be interesting to see what kind of strategies people decide to go with. Here in Australia, in races past, I've seen drivers pull off several strategies around here. And in regards to the tyre life, it's a 29 lap race, so keep that in mind. The soft tyre can last 12 laps and the medium tyre can last 18, so it's theoretically possible for you to do a soft to medium race. However, those medium tyres really wear out after about 10 or 11 laps or so. They really start to drop off the pace. Compare that to the hard tyre, they can do a colossal 24 laps, which is quite a long time, it has to be said. So if there is an early safety car, it's almost necessary for you to take advantage of it and pit for those hard tyres, because they will most likely make it to the end of the race. But if we don't have that, then there's quite a few strategies you can try and make work. I think the way to go in terms of overall pace is probably the softer hard strategy. Those medium tyres, they're good for about 10 or 11 laps, but after that they do seem to drop off just a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see what everyone decides to do. And let's have a look. And fair enough, we've got a fairly good mix of cars here. So top 10 obviously starting on soft tyres, we know that. Nixon P11 starting on medium, same with Liquito in 12th. Snake and Beans taking a gamble, starting on the soft tyre. This can work, and it proved that it could work in Pacific Tier 1 with a driver starting in 20th, starting on the soft tyres. He ended up finishing 6th. So it can work out for you. You need a bit of luck, but it can work. Lucid in 14th on mediums, Doberman in 15th on mediums, Flavius in 16th on mediums, Sully in 17th. He's planning to do what Snake and Beans is going to do. Start on the soft tyre, try and make positions early on. Maybe a bit of luck here and there will help him out. Gentleman Seth has gone the opposite direction. The only driver in the field starting on hards. It could work out for him, you never know. And Snooker at the back of the field starting on a set of softs. So it'll be interesting to see how all of these drivers sort of filter out into this race. For the medium runners, they basically need a completely green race in order for them to take advantage of their strategy. Either that or a very well-timed safety car. Either or. So, as the leaders are making their way onto the pit straight, the field is quite spread out at the moment. Get the telemetry up. You see here, Alp and KD, they're ready to go. Kimi has dropped fair way down the field. The drivers will line up into their respective grid slots. We'll just be waiting. We can get this Australian Grand Prix underway. 19 cars, a pretty healthy field, which is always nice to see. And everyone is ready to go here at Melbourne. We have 5 red lights. And it's lights out. And away we go. Kimi gets a mega start off the line. He will lead the field into turn 1. Here we go. Now the midfield. This is where we have to keep an eye out. We may see an incident or two here. Quite the common sight here at Albert Park. But it appears that everyone has gotten through relatively okay. Heading towards turn 3. An Alfa Romeo challenging an AlphaTauri there as Snake and Beans trying to overtake Lucid in the McLaren. He's unable to get that done. But a fairly controlled start. That's always nice to see when all 19 drivers get through the first lap relatively okay. Lucid overtakes Nix for 11th. But that was an absolutely mega start from Kimi. He nailed it. Unlike Alp, he seemed to have a lot of wheel spin as something's happened to Snake and Beans. Oh, and we have a crash here and a virtual safety car. Liquito and Flavius coming together there at turn 10. So in the end we do have that lap 1 drama, just it didn't happen at turn 1. Happened a bit later on. Snake and Beans now at the back of the field in 19th place. Got a lot of work to do. But everyone has to be very careful here to try and not get a drive-through penalty. You can see there Kimi was on the brakes there. He was on the brakes again. And here comes Alp weaving his tyres. He couldn't find a way past there. You can see there Kimi trying to manage the delta, not try and go over. And here comes Alp in the Ferrari looking, not going for a move though. Nix and Beans into the pits. Same with Flavius. They're all in for wing changes, I assume. And Snooker as well. Yes, a wing change there. Onto hard tyres. Flavius is just sort of being held there. Then he gets a wing change. No idea what that's about. But Alp closing in on Kimi around turn 11, then turn 12. Alp really unable to do anything at this stage other than just sit in behind the Renault. Sector 3 yellow flags. That's Blow, the Canadian, in the Alfa Romeo. He's got that car moving, it seems. Any damage? Doesn't appear to have any damage on his car. He just spun out. He'll consider himself very lucky that he didn't get damage from spinning out there. Quite the common sight. As Alp has lost a fair amount of time to Kimi. As KD gets a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. There's a slow car in the 3rd sector. Liquito, he's going into the pits it seems. But yes, Alp lost a fair amount of time in that 3rd sector to Kimi. I wonder if something happened between these two. We have a battle going on between Hildebeest, JCK and Captain Schmeg. This is for P5. It just been in behind is Lake Show in P8. Yeah, not too much going on. Here comes Lake Show. Round the outside. Ow! Oh! And Captain Schmeg just sort of lets him past, and oh, a Williams, it's Seffi. He's made some sort of error there at turn 10. As a result, he's down in 9th with wing damage as well. So he'll have to come, oh dear, he'll have to come into the pits and get that replaced. It's not nice when you see a car go out onto the grass like that. You never really know what's going to happen. As Sully has retired from the session, crashing out at turn 12, and a safety car has been deployed. And I can see on Captain Schmeg's car, he's got damage, so he'll definitely be pitting. Yeah, we've got a missing M plate. Detal is doing the same. This has saved Seffi. Oh, that hasn't saved Blovo. Oh, dearie me, it's Seffi trying to get past the Red Bull there, as Detal was going quite slowly into the pits. And actually, he got a 5-second penalty as well, if I'm not mistaken. He has, for speeding. A bit of irony there. Yes, a drive-through penalty for this man for speeding under safety car. It's quite unfortunate to see. Looking at the tyre scenario, a few drivers on mediums. There goes Nick's passing blow. So what are the leaders going to do here? They're behind the safety car already. So the safety car didn't allow them to do another lap, which is kind of surprising. Typically it allows the leader to do at least one flying lap. Or well, flying quote unquote. Before the safety car takes control of the field. So this is going to help out those who pitted for that fresh rubber. It's going to hurt these guys tremendously. Regardless if they pit or if they don't. Let's have a look-see. Let's see what they do. And into the pits goes Kimi. Out stays Alp. An interesting decision. And I'll explain why that might actually work for him. As several drivers don't pit. Lucid and Doberman, the two McLarens, don't pit. Same with Seth. As new soft compound tyres go on to Kimi's car. Now, I don't think that's the right choice. I think you have to go onto the hard tyre here and try and get them to the end. Overtaking around here at Albert Park is quite difficult normally, so yeah, I don't know about that for Kimi pitting onto fresh soft rubber. I guess because of the amount of track position he lost, he might as well try and gain it back up. There are several drivers that have to make another stop. Detal has to make another stop. Captain Schmeck has to make another stop. Lakeshore has to make another stop. Same with Nick. Same with Snake and Beans. Same with Laquito. So I suppose he hasn't really lost too much. But his main rival, KD, behind in 15th. He can go to the end if he so pleases on those tyres. Now, as Alp at the front of the field, him not pitting, it's an interesting sort of dynamic because he has to do another pit stop. But as safety car is in this lap, we saw in qualifying how quick this guy is, and he's now got clear air. So if he's able to put the hammer down and pull away from the cars behind, try and build a margin, and then when he pits, hopefully he'll come out in front of the likes of Kimi and KD. Though I believe the main man to watch for the end of this race is probably going to be JCK on those fresh hard tyres in 6th place. I reckon he's in with a very good shot here to win this. But Alp controls the field. He'll decide when to go, and he goes. Just before the second last corner. And gets a tremendous restart. 1.2 seconds found already. 1.3. Caught Hildebeest napping a little bit. Lucid falls behind as well. And into the barrier goes Laquito. That was massive there in the background. So a crash on the safety car restart. As a result, we have our second retirement of the race. And here comes Seth overtaking Lucid. They go through side by side. Doberman, the two McLarens go side by side. As JCK tries to get past Lucid as well. Snooker, 3-second tyre penalty down the inside. They make contact. A bit of bumping, a bit of barging, and there goes the AlphaTauri. Lucid being a bit of a roadblock at the moment, it appears to be. And here comes Lakeshore on those fresh softs. He's going to be very quick. Captain Schmeg overtaking Lucid now. He's into 8th place. Not a great start here for the McLaren. Kimi now trying to find a way past. Does so. Oh, but a bit of a move there from Nix. I'm not sure if there was contact. That McLaren's now missing an end plate. But side by side through turn 11 is never ever going to stick. As KD gets past as well. So quite the chaotic restart here in the midfield. Towards the front though, it's fairly straightforward. Alp has absolutely nailed it. Oh, as Kimi's got a run on Captain Schmeg. They're side by side and Kimi just powers past, no trouble at all. Gets it done into 8th place. Doberman attacking Seth here. Around the long way. Oh, as I think Lakeshore almost went into the back of JCK there. As they go around turn 5. Off the racetrack is Seth. Oh, and spinning out into the wall is Doberman. I think he may have been pushed there. Oh, thank goodness it's ghosting. I have a feeling he may have been pushed. It just seemed like it from that view. Seth being overtaken by Nix, and here comes KD. Also overtaking the AlphaTauri into turn 11. Oh, and Schmeg's off the right and spinning! It's Nix into the wall! And he gets it going. Unfortunately for Nix, he was following Captain Schmeg, who went off the racetrack at turn 12. But Schmeg kept it on the racetrack. Just. And into the pits goes Lakeshore. So he must have got damaged. Shifted into neutral, and now come the Mercedes crew. Yeah, massive damage. And on go the hard tyres. Snake and Beans looking to overtake Seth here. Can't make it stick. So all that track position Kimi lost on Alp. He's more or less negotiated all of it, as he has a bit of a moment through turn 6 and 7. There's KD just in the background. Now he's got some properly tough drivers. He has to pass Sefi and JCK. Meanwhile, Hildebeest and Alp have just pulled lengths away from JCK. Hildebeest is 12 seconds in front of JCK, and then you've got Alp, who is a further 3 seconds in front of Hildebeest, as Beans does get by Seth there for 8th place. What can Kimi do there? A bit sideways there for Sefi. Just cost him a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. Heading into turn 1. Oh, that would be a warning. Knowing the Codemaster's game, it's gonna be a warning. Round turn 3. Into turn 4. There's not much Kimi can do here, other than try and get it right. Try and hit every apex. Not do anything silly. KD, 3 seconds. He now has a total of 6. Still can't find a way past into turn 9, then turn 10. Sefi sideways through there. Here comes Kimi, looking around the long way. Sefi's going to try and fight this. They go through side by side. And somehow Kimi makes the pass stick. And oh dear, Captain Schmeg has dropped out. They make it stick and no crashes from that, which is quite impressive. Next target is JCK. As that the AI of Captain Schmeg is going to cost him a lot of time. Oh, and he's got a broken front wing as well. As KD gets past Sefi. So Seffi's lost a fair amount of time. Oh, hang on, something's wrong. Something is very wrong. Oh no, obviously there's something wrong. He's missing a front wing. Look on the right-hand side of that front wing. It's just gone. So, he's made contact with something. Not 100% sure what. So now got to get that replaced as we have yellow flags. Snooker making a mistake at turn 2, loses positions to Lake Show and Detail. Kimmy closing in on JCK, sector 1 yellow flags, that's a Red Bull. Must have been Detail at turn 3. But Kimmy getting ever so closer to JCK, he's ready to attack here. Captain Shoemaker's rejoined the session. Kimmy, he'll use DRS, probably not use ERS just yet. Though JCK has got a fair amount of ERS in his back pocket. You'll be able to use that to try and defend from Kimmy, who is properly in behind him now. See here, using overtake at the exit of turn 2. He defends into 3. Kimmy, he's not going to make this stick around the outside. Yeah, I didn't think so. Round turn 4. Oh, and Hart spins the car, and almost into Kimmy there. Car is still sideways. But that I've even done that myself. I did that in tier 3 in qualifying, where you apply just that little bit too much throttle at the exit of turn 4. And when you go on the curb, sometimes it sticks, sometimes it just gets really unsettled. And you can spin the car like that. Unfortunately for JCK, he lost a position, but more fortunately, he's still in the race because he could have quite easily ended up in the barrier. But he's still here. Got a little bit of DRS from Kimmy, though I think he is going to lose it as Alp and Hildebeest are in. Now they're going, well, Alp is going for a set of mediums, so he's going to commit to a soft medium strategy. Nick's a 3-second time penalty. Hildebeest a more safer option, the hard tyre. Quito has left the session. As Alp rejoins in 4th place, in a really good position. Same with Hildebeest. He's in 5th, and he is guaranteed to go to the end. Those hard tyres will easily do 19 laps. No trouble at all. Well, actually 18 laps, I can't count. Alp, on the other hand, it's going to be a bit touch and go. But he's going to be mightily fast. He has to catch up to KD, pass him, then catch up to JCK, as Kimmy will need to make another stop. Those are his 2 main rivals at this stage. Closest battle on track appears to be this one between Seth and Nix. Round turn 9. We turn 10. There's Flavius just in front. So we've got this sort of 3-way fight here for 7th. Nix will be pitting soon. He's on 10-lap old softs. Seffi a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. He's down in 14th place, a long way behind the field. But I believe Nix will be coming in this lap, putting on some fresh rubber. There we go. In he comes. He'll probably put on mediums as well. Nice and gently into the pit lane. Yep, set of mediums. I thought as much. That was a pretty slick stop there from the Red Bull crew. That looked a lot quicker than what it normally is. As something's happened in Sector 3. That is Snooker making a mistake, I believe, at turn 7. But credit to JCK here. He's still hanging on to the back of Kimi. He's not let him pull away. Those soft tyres will feel like garbage, but still, credit where credit is due. Pretty solid performance here from JCK. Sector 3 yellow flags. That's Nuka again. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, just briefly bringing out the yellow flag, no trouble. Around the final corner goes Kimi. He'll begin lap 14 of 29. Alp setting fastest lap times with a 23 flat. He is closing in on KD at a rate of knots. He's now almost within DRS range of the racing point. Round turn 3. Gap closes to now under a second here, so I imagine on the next lap Alp will be giving KD a hurry up. Bit of a hurry up at the very least. Heading into turns 9 and 10, gap closes even more. As Blow has just overtaken Seth. As for 8th. Oh, sorry. Blow was off the racetrack completely there. As KD gets another penalty. Dear oh dear. And here comes Al. And not close enough to attack. Locking up though. Round turn 14. Towards turn 15. Can Al find a way past here? I think he will. Utilize DRS, use overtake. Will he go for it here at turn 1? He's got the run. He's got the inside line. He's got the job done. Into 3rd place now. Next target is JCK. Man, at the moment, is in a class of his own. JCK do anything here? He's still keeping up with Kimi, and that suggests to me that he might just be able to get back past him. Though at this stage with Kimi, I think he's going to be pitting this lap for some fresh tyres. Heading towards turns 11 and 12, Alp is really... he is flying at the moment. Those tyres just a million miles quicker than those around him. Around turn 14, and I think Kimi will be coming in. Surely he'll be coming in. There we go. The Renault pulling off to the side. JCK retakes the lead, though I don't think he's going to be holding it for long. As Alp looking around the long way into turn 1, he makes it stick. He retakes the lead of this Australian Grand Prix, and on his fresh medium tyres, he should pull away. It's going to be difficult for the likes of JCK and KD to try and compete against him. Kimi comes out in 6th place, and that's a pretty decent position. Hasn't lost too much ground at all. So if he can string some decent laps together, he might have a crack at the top 4. He's got some ground to catch to Hildebeest, but Hildebeest does have a penalty next to his name, 3 seconds next to his name. Alp just pulling away now, 1.2 seconds. So JCK at the end of this lap, he will not get DRS. He will not have the DRS. So Alp should have a fairly straightforward race till the end, one would think. Unless, of course, we have a safety car at some stage. Then it might throw a few things up into the air. Kimi attacking beams here. It should be a fairly straightforward overtake as well. I was behind, but okay. Let's see. And that was the incident at the safety car restart, Laquito. So it seems like there's going to be some sort of steward's report in regards to that, it seems. It wasn't just human error here. There's more behind it. So I'm sure the stewards will be looking forward to investigate that then. Because that was a colossal crash at the safety car restart. Just saw the Williams just plow head first into the barrier. Under any normal circumstances, that would be a restart, a safety car restart, another one. But knowing the game, no, it doesn't do that. Just let the cars race on. Seffi trying to get by to tail. Heading towards turns 11 and 12. See if he can get it done into 13, though Detail will have DRS. He's closing in on Seth. He might go for it here on Seth. And he does. They make contact, and here comes Seffi, and he's got nowhere to go as Detail goes into the wall just ever so lightly. As a result, he'll drop down through the order, down to 13th. Gets the car going. Oh, don't put it into the wall. That's the way. Get it backed up. Get it going. That's the way. Those tyres won't feel great. Just needs to be very careful as Seffi overtakes Seth at turn 1. Gets it done. He's now into 9th place. Oh, that revving glitch is horrible. The blow, that... Oh dear, I was going to say, currently driving very well. He wasn't driving very well there. He put some... his outside tyres out onto the grass there. Lost a little bit of time. Yeah, a bit of a heart-in-mouth moment there, but he's performed fairly solidly here. Sector 3 yellow flags. What was that all about? Was the car slow in the straight, I guess? I don't know. That was very strange. As Snake and Beans overtakes Gentleman Seth. That is for 10th place. He's done that at turn 11, as Seth gets a 3-second time penalty. But from the looks of things, if Blow can get a fairly nice run through these final 2 corners, Flavius compromises himself there. He went narrow into turn 15. That'll cost him. Oh dear, but that will cost Blow even more, that mistake. Got onto the outside curb, lit it up on the exit and spun round. And there goes Seffi, powering past into P8. That's quite a costly error there. I thought Blow had the opportunity to overtake Flavius. Unfortunately, that has gone out the window. And he'll need to pit for sure. Put on some fresh boots. Here comes Snake and Beans. And Blow doesn't attack here. That's probably very fair. Knowing he has wing damage, there's no point in fighting. Absolutely none at all. And it appears as if the field is fairly well spread out. Has to be said. Field is massively spread out. So we've sort of got the top 4 separated by about 14 seconds, I want to guess. Yeah, 14.8. Then it's a colossal sort of 11 seconds between Hildebeest and Kimmy. Quite a big gap. 10.3 seconds, so not quite 11. Then it's a further 24 seconds behind is Flavius in P6. It's pretty big margins here. Pretty big indeed. Into the pits goes Blow. He'll get a wing change. Probably soft tyres. Soft tyres could make it from here. If not, if you have another set of mediums, go for them. Set of hards, so I guess he really has nothing left. It's fresh rubber. Better than nothing. And away he goes. Kind of. Seffi trying to attack Lake Show. Snooker 3-second time penalty. Seffi has a run. He has to look around the long way. Oh, Jesus, that was tight. He gets it done. It was very tight between those two, but I guess no harm, no foul. Next target is Flavius on 18-lap-old hard compound tyres. Going to be a bit of a struggle to get those to the end, but I'm sure he's going to try and fight on and get there. Car's front wing looks intact, so he's got no damage from the looks of things. KD is closing in on JCK. He's probably ready to try and attack the AlphaTauri for second, though penalties will ultimately see him be demoted back down to third, as the Tau gets a penalty, 3 seconds worth next to his name for multiple warnings. And Seffi gets past Flavius, it appears with relative ease. He's now into 6th, a long way behind Kimi, so the only way he could forward his position is if a safety car came out. If there isn't a safety car from here to the end of the race, Seffi is more or less destined to finish P6, though penalties might see him demoted back down. Perhaps behind Lake Show, maybe not Flavius. I think he might be able to pull away from Flavius, but Lake Show on those fresher hard tyres might be able to keep up with Seffi, though he's being held up by Flavius quite a bit here. KD really close here to JCK. Ready to attack as they head through the second sector now. Round turn 6, then turn 7. Through turn 8. Now into the heavy braking zone of 9. The gap is less than half a second. Round they come, round turn 10. Using overtake. Close in more. Lake Show gets past Flavius. Gap between Lake Show and Seffi is 2.5 seconds. Needs to stay within 6. 6 seconds is how much he has to stay within. 6 seconds. KD. Is he close enough to attack here? He needs a good run out of the final corner. That car looks like it's understeering quite a bit through there. As a result, I don't think he'll be close enough to attack. And JCK is getting a sneaky bit of DRS from the lap car in front. KD again unable to attack here, and you can see the surplus of ERS that JCK has. It's going to be very difficult for KD to find a way past. Snake and Beans now on the back of Flavius. 5-lap-old mediums versus 20-lap-old hards. It's a fairly one-sided contest. Flavius is going to find it near impossible to hold the Renault at bay. There he goes. Powering past. Into 8th. Oh, it's a switchback, but Flavius hit. That was a desperate move if I ever saw one, and that was never going to work. Oh, and Snake and Beans just went off the racetrack ever so briefly there. Credit for trying, but yeah, that was never really going to work. There's a big dive bomb there. Big dive bomb. Lap traffic, plenty of it. Gentlemen Seth and Tatal, they're actually battling for 13th place, so we get to watch two battles at once at two opposite ends of the grid as Detail makes the move on Seth and makes it stick. He's now into 13th. At the moment, JCK holding off KD, doing a good job. At the moment, the Racing Point really unable to do anything. I noticed Captain Schmeg made a move on Flavius. How many penalties does Schmeg have? He has 3 seconds, so he has to try and pull away from Flavius, a gap of 3 seconds. Sector 3 yellows. That revving glitch is fantastic as Flavius goes into the pits. So the field is quite spread out. Quite spread out. Not a great deal going on, unfortunately. But Hildebeest is at the moment doing a fantastic job trying to hold on to 4th place, and it looks like he is going to get it. So you got a 3-second time penalty. He's got 3 seconds worth of pens, so he just needs to hold Kimi at bay at a margin of 3 seconds or something greater, and he can hang on to 4th, and he's on the precipice of getting a podium. KD with 9 seconds worth of penalties means that Hildebeest has a 6-second advantage over KD. Right now they're basically side by side on track once penalties take effect. So for Hildebeest, if he can just manage that margin and perhaps try and close in on KD a little bit, may be able to take a podium finish here. The tail closing in on Blow on those high compound tyres. Blow making a mistake here at the final corner. It's cost him a fair amount of time. The tail just steadily closing in, preparing to launch an assault. KD got incredibly close to the back of JCK. That gap was less than 2/10. It's now increased back to 8. Dropped just briefly there. So I don't think KD is done quite just yet, and that gap has closed in quite a bit. Hildebeest now 5.3 seconds behind KD, so KD has definitely done something. And look at that, he's almost outside of, he is outside of DRS range. He needs to get back, oh, and into the wall! Oh wait, no, that was just a lag spike. Was that a lag spike? Must have been. He's still going, but he's lost a fair amount of time. So he did spin the car. He had to have spun the car, but he didn't end up into the wall. That was a very odd incident. Just how the lag and the spin just sort of happened at the same time. That's given Hildebeest a massive helping hand. This is going to look like a podium for the Haas driver. He'd be pretty chuffed with this. Captain Schmeg, a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Now what Hildebeest needs to do is not make a mistake. He needs to nail these final 3 laps, not get another penalty. And that's given JCK a bit of a reprieve. He can just focus on what's in front of him. Not worry about KD behind. KD sort of mixing it up with the lap traffic, it appears. There's Detail and Blow just in behind. P11 and 12 respectively. Into turns 11 and 12. KD closing back up. JCK as a Red Bull, that must have been Nick's, going off there in the third sector. As Flavius gets by Gentleman Seth for 13th. Nix goes into the pits actually. Does he have damage or something? He does. This will cost him a fair few places here. Out he comes. He's down in 14th. I don't think, unless he had a completely red front wing, he might as well try and fight it out and get to the end. Because the pit lane is so long and so slow that you lose so much time and track position. Oh, fighting with the tail. KD, another penalty. That will mean most likely that Hildebeest will be finishing on the podium. But there's absolutely no question who's going to be winning this race. Classy performance. So much quicker than everyone else as Blow overtakes the tail for 10th. As Alp begins the final lap here at Melbourne. Basically going to be a lap of honour for the Ferrari driver. As soon as he got clear air, absolutely nailed the race. No one could challenge him. Absolutely no one. KD's back onto the gearbox of JCK, but in the end, even if he gets past, be for nothing. Those penalties will hurt KD. Oh, and that might have as well. Whew, he's lucky he didn't end up in the barrier. No point pushing now, KD. Fate has been sealed, it seems. But a very fine race from this man. Complete and utter domination in qualifying, and as soon as he took the lead at the safety car restart, he hasn't looked back. SWM Alp will round the final corner. You use every resource. Can he snag fastest lap on the final lap? Not sure if he has, but he has, without a doubt, won this Australian Grand Prix. JCK will cross the line in second. He will keep second. No penalties for the AlphaTauri driver. He'll be pleased with this performance. KD will cross the line in third, but because of penalties, Hildebeest will jump up onto the podium. He will claim third place. What about Kimi? Where will he jump up? He'll jump up to fourth in the end, overtaking KD by just under 1 second. Very close finish between those two. Then we got the long wait for Seffi. A long wait. Meanwhile, Captain Schmeggett's finished in P9, Blow in 10th, Detail in 11th. Flavius in 12th, Gentleman Seth in 13th, Nix in 14th, Lucid in 15th. Doberman finished in 16th with Snooker at the back of the field in 17th. Just be waiting on Seffi. He'll cross the line in P6. Will he hold it? I don't think he will. Let's have a look. He does by 0.2 of a second. Only just hangs on. Lakeshore will end up finishing in 7th place there. Driver of the day given to Snake and Beans. We'll see his performance on the unofficial results screen. But here we go, the podium celebrations. Another win, another dominant victory for SWM Alp. A fine performance from JCK and another consistent drive rewarded with a podium for Hildebeest. I imagine there'll be a pretty pleased podium, this one. Fought hard for their positions, and it's very well earned. But not a bad Australian Grand Prix. I've seen better, but I've definitely seen worse around here. This race definitely had its moments. So, the unofficial results, as us Double M Alp actually claimed fastest lap as well. Not at the final lap. That was a lap he did earlier on, but he gets the full bag of points. A Grand Schlem, if you will. Pole position, fastest lap, and the race win. He'll be pretty pleased with us. JCK finishes in second, Hildebeest in third, Kimmy in fourth, KD in fifth, Seffi in sixth, Lake Show in seventh, Snake and Beans in eighth, Captain Shemeg in ninth, Blow in 10th, Detail in 11th, Flavius in 12th, Gentleman Seth in 13th, Nero Nix in 14th, Lucid 15th, Doberman 16th, and Snooker rounds out the finishes in 17th. Two non-finishers, Laquito and Sully, having moments in the race. Big one for Laquito. That was massive on the safety car restart. But, yeah, not a bad race overall. It's pretty nice driving, but... and some pretty nice action. Generally, overall, it was pretty okay. Dearie me. But I believe that will end round 7 of the PlayStation America series on Race Spec Esports. Next week, we go from Australia to Bahrain, to the Sakir International Circuit. A Tilka-drome, but one of the better ones. It has to be said for racing. Bahrain for me is easily my worst racetrack as a driver. I just can't go quickly around there. But in terms of racing, Bahrain, it's pretty okay, for the most part. You get to see some cracking battles every now and then. You've got those long straights that lead into heavy braking zones. It often leads to pretty decent racing. But you never know. You always have to keep an open mind with this sport. But yes, I do believe that will end this stream. It won't end the week of racing here at Albert Park. On Sunday, we'll let the RS boys have a crack around Albert Park. I'll be commentating the RS2 Championship, but the one to watch will be the pinnacle of Race Spec RS1. Watch the top guys in the league joust it out around Australia's home of Formula 1. But until then, I've been the Smeg. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you all next week for the Bahrain Grand Prix at Sakir International Circuit. Until then, goodbye.